Welcome to the show. This is Brave TRAX. This is a show about new electronic music, and I'm Braver. Each edition of Brave TRAX brings me together with a new guest, and we take turns playing fresh tracks for each other. Each track we try and explain why this music is worth paying attention to, and the other will react in real time to the music. I usually start the show off with a little bit of statistics to show off how incredibly overwhelming it is to try and find new and interesting music in the torrents of new releases coming out on digital stores and streaming services each week. For instance, this week I read something about that on Deezer, as French streaming service, they have like 30,000 AI-generated tracks every day that they have to sort out. So not even are we having to sort through music that's coming from real people, now also from robots throwing it at us. So we really need help finding our way in new music and not be overwhelmed. So for this show, I have invited N.E.GIRL with me, and she's here next to me.
Hi, thank you for having me. Sorry, that's really loud.
It is a little bit loud, but I think we'll manage. You're an integral part of the electronic underground in Copenhagen, and you have your fingers in a bit of everything. Recently, you curated a whole day at Drift Radio. I watched it; it was really great. And you're a part of the Strum curation team. And with your background from South London, you're really heavily inspired by the UK underground genres, but you also have really versatile taste in music. And listening to your DJ mixes in the preparation of this show, I found you really curious and all over the place. And I'm really excited to hear what you found for us today.
I think you described my style really very well. Curious and all over the place. And I must say, a lot of my sets aren't palatable for everyone, but that's fine. Yeah. When I'm playing, you can really hear I'm improvising, not only with what I play, but how I play it. Mm-hmm. So technically, I enjoy doing some very strange cuts and transitions. I think it's quite interesting.
So what would you have brought for us today? Is this all over the place today as well?
Yeah, totally. I actually put too many songs in a folder just for today, around 70. But it spans everything that has both influenced me, everything that I have had in my Bandcamp, and actually a lot of things that have been in my promo folder that I've downloaded that are forthcoming. So maybe we can share some of that.
Yeah, let's share some of the music. Talking to you in preparation for this show, you, both you and actually some of my former guests has expressed a bit of despair trying to find music in the environment that I just described. And then this show kind of gave some sort of purpose in finding this. Is this something that you felt preparing to the show?
Yes, I always feel very overwhelmed, especially when Bandcamp Fridays was a thing. And your inbox would just be spammed with so many new releases, which on one hand is really nice, but on the other hand, it's so overwhelming. When you and I were talking before this, I was saying I miss some of the rituals and some of the community element of sharing music. Oh, actually, a friend of mine has a platform called Exhibit, and he is trying to challenge or combat this issue a lot of us have, where it filters music in a more organic way, and actually a lot of promo and free music, the rights and the money goes back to the producers. Anyway, if you're interested in that, check out Exhibit.
That sounds really interesting to dig into later. But basically, getting back to the show, we're going to take turns. You're going to start.
Yeah.
So if you're going to start with the first new track that you've dug up.
Yes. So this one here is called Oxygen. It's by Sir Hiss. It's off Pineapple Recordings. That's a Bristol-based label. So Hiss is also from Bristol, and I discovered him maybe 5 years ago on Keep Hush. He did a back-to-back with Lucy, who's also another incredible producer DJ. But his style is very grime influenced, but it's also very left field. It's a bit droney. It's quite experimental. And I thought I would start off with something easy to warm us up. So I'm going to play this one. It's called Oxygen.
Thank you.
So that one was called Oxygen by Sir Hiss, and as you can hear, it's a lot more light and loose than what I normally play. It's actually off a compilation with a lot of other artists, and it spans everything from this atmospheric, zony music into more grime and electro.
But Sir Hiss, does he always do music like this? No.
Absolutely not. Actually, like I was saying before, I knew him originally from just grime, icy grime rhythms. And then I found this, and it reminded me a lot of the music I used to play from like Night Slugs, Bok Bok, Mum Dance. This very avant-garde grime left field things where they would cut up grime in a way that was very unusual. And this made me feel quite nostalgic, so I thought I would start with this.
But that's nice. It feels like an intro. Like you feel like you want something more to come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the intention. More to come.
More to come. Okay. But I like it very much. It's a really great starter and a great mood to start up with. It feels like all of these 90s pads that I've been listening to in all kinds of 90s house music in a way as well.
Maybe because we were talking about Pineapple Records right before we turned the microphones back on, and you have some experience with Sam Binguk, who I was saying I didn't even realize it was his bloody label, but for a while I was like, what, they're only releasing Sam Binguk stuff. What's going on here? So the two and two should have connected.
Yeah, the reason he have like this 5-year anniversary release where he did collaborations with, I don't know, 16 artists, and on the last show with Coyote, I played the collaboration that he did with DJ Polo, which is also just like a really like great figure in my book. So yeah, I'm always happy to have Pineapple Records on the show.
Good start.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
This is called Heavy Eyes by Symbolic. And if I'm just gonna move through my papers, then I have a little bit of information. I will have the information later. This is called Heavy Eyes. So I was promising some information here. This is Symbolic from Brooklyn, New York. This track is called Heavy Eyes, and it's from the Heavy Eyes EP that's coming out on the October 2nd. This single is out right now on Bandcamp. So this track has a kind of emotional quality that I really enjoy when you like combine the danceable tracks with more these. There's like this harp that's coming in. There's mellow, and then it has this upward sound that's going up and up and up. That brings some sort of energy to the track. What do you think?
I love this track. I think it's a perfect club tune. It's not overly bouncy and overly percussive, as a lot of club music seems to be these days, but that's obviously my personal opinion. Yeah. And did you say it was from the States? Where?
It's Brooklyn, New York.
Brooklyn, New York.
This artist, yeah.
Okay.
It's I actually didn't fill out the label yet.
I was trying to think of the sound because it sounds very UK based leaning. But Brooklyn-wise, I was imagining.
To me, it also sounds really inspired by Object, which is also one that I'm really, really big fan of. And so this it has all of these intricate details that comes in and out that keeps the interest going. And then it has a bit of space in the track, so that you're talking about. There's a lot of these tracks that just have no space left. Yeah. And so I'm glad that you like it as well.
Yeah, I like this track. I think it would be really fun to play on.
Yeah. And I would use it for keeping like interest like mid-set without raising the energy too much. You know, you kind of like made your point and now you need to keep going.
Yeah, I've made my point, yeah.
So, your turn.
My turn, right. So, speaking of perks and bass, this is a term that I guess was coined, God knows, 5, 6, 7 years ago. And I suppose it's the post-dubstep era where the whole UK funky, dubstep, grime, everything techno kind of merged into this thing. And right now we're seeing an iteration of steppers, dub music, a little bit more influenced in this perks and bass sound. And this release, it's off Menace, which is Dub Runner's label. A really important person if you like what I'm about to play. It's called Ultrasonic, this song.
I love the sound of this.
By Slimy Ape. I'm going to let it run and talk a little bit more afterwards. Yeah, so this one's Slimy 8, Manchester-based DJ. I'm just reading my little notes on the screen. But it's of Menace, like I mentioned before, dub runner. Someone who I really admire for their steppers dub and then this dub techno sound that he has been championing and pushing for many years. But we had a nice conversation about dub techno. Sure, it's very nice, it's very introspective, it's lovely to listen to, but in the club, perhaps you need some more energy, you need a little bit more bounce. What did you think about this?
But I love it. These stabs is just always tickling me all the right places, and then bringing in this fast beat that's still slow. The way that this kind of music can be is just like this. This is all the right places for me. And I actually I'm looking a lot for music that's like this, because I think back where Tectonic did a lot of this back in the days, but they don't anymore. So I think it's really great to hear this combination again.
Oh, speaking of Tectonic, I'll play some because they just did their anniversary release.
Yeah, that's a great release, though. We could talk about that, but I want to put this in the background and then just talk a little bit. This is Tim Reaper, but it's not drum and bass. And I know I saw you doing a show with him, but the thing about this is he did a whole EP that's basically UK funky.
Yeah.
And I played it in my studio with Hakeem, who's sitting over here, and he looked at me and said, "What the shit
Shout
is this?"
Hakeem!
He did not enjoy this music, and I find it really amazing this way that UK funky, it has this really plasticky sound where it's like it feels like it's almost not treated. It's just listening to the electronic instrument playing it with no at all, and he really dug into it with this release. And I think it's amazing.
I think it's really cool you brought this up. And actually, I've noticed, one, Tim Reaper just released a very impressive 7-hour Resident Advisor mix, which goes through all kinds of genres. So you can really hear he's naturally curious and a fan of the club spectrum.
The whole spectrum. Yeah.
The whole spectrum. Secondly, UK funky, that has a sweet spot in my heart, because when I started going out before college at uni, UK funky became a thing, and if you were African, there was a pride that came from it, because for the first time there was African rhythms, there was African lyrics, but it had this dubstep bass with it, and it honestly, I distinctively remember thinking, this is music from Africa, and it's in the club, and it really made an impression.
Let's listen to it a little bit.
If I will, I'll just add something here. This reminds me of, do you remember like Mosca and Crazy Cousins and Scratcher DVA? And
I remember Mosca,
yeah.
Scratcher DVA.
This, you can really hear he's just taken a lot of influence from that 2009 UK funky era. It's
Yeah,
good.
and then right now he comes in with this really crazy synth line that's coming in now. Where it's like he's really going overboard. This is the track that's most overboard on the whole EP. I think there's 4 or 5 tracks on it. So the label here is Drum Track or DIMTRK, and it's actually Scratcher DVA's label, so he's released it on there. So the connection that you just made makes sense right now. The EP is called First Rhythms and was out May 30th, and this title of this track was Beetle Dance. Great. So I'm curious. You used to live in London. Now you live in Denmark. What did living in Denmark do to your music taste? How has it changed?
My music taste has gotten a lot more Euro techno.
What does that mean?
Okay, if you think of 90s Y2K Euro dance,
Yeah.
I would say that has seeped into a lot of my sets, but specifically I play a lot more trance.
Yeah.
I play a lot harder style techno, which I didn't do previously. And as it says in my bio that my very articulate journalist friend wrote, I'm from Kenya, I grew up in London, and now I'm here. And I can feel these cultural influences in the tunes I select, because I want to be aware of where I am and what people like, but I also have my influence from the UK, and then I have a ton of music from Africa that I still very much like to explore.
So why do you think trance is so much in Copenhagen the one thing that influences you?
Good question. I like trance because it's moody, it's melancholic, and those tend to be the elements that characterize a lot of the music I play. But the BPM also has an influence, and I think maybe that's a superficial criteria, but I tend to gravitate to certain BPMs, either 140 or 170. And I find trance blends really well with some technical dark drum and bass.
So you put on a really short track. I think we should get to it before it's over.
Yes.
Yeah, but So I realized this was just background music, and I think I have not have a guest yet that put on background music. I think that's really great. Thank you for that, Esther. I'm just going to move into a little bit when you put on this next. How do you usually discover music?
So I usually discover music through Bandcamp. I have certain labels that I would go to, depending also on the type of set I have coming up. Or I've started doing this, listening back to some of my old mixes, because there are tracks that have gotten lost in a hard drive that I've rediscovered listening to some old mixes. Promos in my email, I really like to listen to as well, because I've discovered some cool artists that way. And Instagram, the algorithm has been doing pretty okay for me.
So, but my intro, almost every time in this show, we get bombarded with a lot of music. How you already mentioning like 5 different places, and each of them seems like already being overwhelming. How do you not get overwhelmed?
I have a system like all of us must do. So, for example, I always put it in some kind of folder, and either at the end of the month or just before a gig, I will explore what I found in that folder and then decide what to buy. I have to put a limit on myself, which I heard you do. I can't buy everything; it's impossible, and also I can't afford it. But it's overwhelming, and I don't have the trick. It's just overwhelming.
But actually, when you look at this thing where it is that buying too much music actually is a disadvantage, then all of a sudden I get really happy about not being able to afford everything. because then it's like it's a good thing. Then I really enjoy the part of having to say, okay, this is great, but I'm not gonna select you.
No.
I'm gonna, because there's so much.
Exactly, and I think also trying to buy music, which Simone, Smokey, shout out to you. Whenever I've tried to buy a lot of music before I set, it goes terribly wrong. You don't know the songs. It's you know, you don't know what's coming. You haven't had the feel of how they work together. So I've really stopped doing that.
So what are you picking for us now?
So we're picking up the tempo here. This is around 170. If anyone's interested, I'm interested, which means it's going to be leaning more into my dubstep side. It's a song called Ragwort, and it's by Die Selector.
Thank you.
It's released off Late Night Shopper.
So I absolutely love this.
Yeah.
And I really love that way, and that actually gets me every time, that way where you do a track. It's like one half is halftime, and then you do some sort of intricate break, and then you just pick it up with the for afterwards.
It's so interesting, and you can select any part of this track, and it has something new and fun. And this is actually a nice subtle connection between what I was saying with psytrance, because you could easily put this in a psytrance set, and everyone would love it. And then I would sneak some halftime drum and bass, and then we're in drum and bass, and no one knew what was happening. Yeah. So that's the technique.
And that's actually the fun thing that's happening about, I think, the dubstep sound, in the way that back when dubstep came out about 20 years ago, you kind of have to have like a really clean set of specific kind of dubstep, but you couldn't really go too much from one side or the other. It had to be, it was really a stringent genre. And now playing dubstep is like you could just be all over the place, right? You can put in all of these influences, and this with all of these little trancey sounds without being trance is just one of those. Evidence of that.
Absolutely, and I really appreciate this new era or generation or whatever of producers, because there's an openness to blend genres that I personally haven't experienced before. Even within the more purist crowds, it's very, very champions to play with different techniques from other genres, and I love that.
So we're talking about, the old days with the dubstep, and back then Temper Records was a really, really big label, and recently resurfaced, and basically everything they've started to put out again, just any release is just amazing. This release is the new K-Lone Pressure, and it just sounds like old horsepower production releases. Let's listen to a little bit. So K-Lone is Josiah Bradwell from Brighton, UK. This is from the Pressure EP out of Tampa Records. It's out the 29th of August. What do you think of this?
This is really good. I would love to hear more of this on the dance floor, because of course the speed garage has taken over, but it's fine. Some more some more of this would be amazing. It just pays homage to
That's the point that's been made on this show three times now, where we're talking about speed carriers taking over.
We need to get over this 2000s dubstep and move on.
Yeah, exactly. So but really, I actually have another release of Temper. I might get to later in the show, but just right now, I'm so happy they started releasing music again. Your turn.
So I'm just gonna feed off what you played. And I recently read this Burial interview that has resurfaced, and I have a tune here that's very Burial coded. So I'm gonna just let this play and hear what you think.
I'm gonna enjoy it then.
Yes, selector, taking this one back from the top. Yes, selector, taking this one back from the top.
Yeah, so this one is by Low End Activist. It's off Peak Oil Records.
Great artist name though.
He's based in the UK, but has been doing a lot more gigs in Berlin from what I see. And his style is this. It's very broken grime, it's droney, it's atmospheric, and I enjoy mostly what about this track is how he manipulates the vocals. That always gets me, which is why I had my burial reference.
How would you use this in a DJ set?
I would use this as an intro opener, or I would use this as a transition.
Yeah.
I think it has a lot of space to do some funky stuff with the tempo. Like, let's have a listen.
Yeah, it
Like,
changes when you get up there.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not jarring when it changes. It still sounds interesting. So that's how I would use it.
It's kind of like a reset button when you've been doing one thing in the show and then you want to do something else.
Yeah, I like that reset. This is a reset track. Thank
It's
you,
a
Low End
reset.
Activist.
Amazing. I love it a lot, and you know the burial influence is really visible here. It's whenever you have a snare that sounds like this.
This one's called Check. It's off his Airdrop 3, released the latest album he has. So check out Low End Activist.
Great. We're gonna move on to Sister So Synapse Collapse. This is out on 3024. This is Martin's label. He has this kind of a mentorship program where he has people during the under the with lockdown. You have people joining a mentorship program and learning how to do dance music the way that he does. And basically his label has changed and morphed into basically he's just releasing people who's on his program. So this is someone that he has taught. And she's from Kansas, Missouri, and now lives in New York. So another Brooklyn artist. And this track is called The Purge.
I think this is really cool. It reminds me a lot of Aisha, if you know who that is. She's released off Scuffed.
Yeah.
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 That very percussive, but also this very techie. I don't know what the words are for these sounds.
But actually some of the same sounds as in Deflected before here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those kind of like outer-worldly sounds that
Exactly.
comes in there.
And I think it's used very carefully without it being a bit overwhelming, like now. Actually, there's a second drop here that I'm quite keen to.
Yeah, I can feel this is peak time. Actually, I wrote something else when I write down for each track how I would use it, and then I say I would use this after peak time to build on the set to go somewhere else. And right now, listening to it, I think I'm reconsidering.
It was the second drop though. You just put a cue point there and be like,
Yeah,
okay, peak time section. Great.
Yeah.
I love that track.
Yeah, and so the thing that really gets me every time is this, broken kick pattern here, where it's not really dubstep. It just has this broken kick pattern, and it goes out there.
Yeah, I think it's an influence of this global bass that is coined now. It's just everyone taking pockets from all different South America, Africa, whatever. But you can really hear it, especially in this track.
It's amazing. You next.
Me next. I have an evil track here. This one's by an artist called Kizzy. I actually just downloaded a whole EP. All the information I put in the metadata has disappeared, so I'm going to try and freestyle this. A lot of it I coined or I coded as club bass, meaning that it's sub bass heavy, but it's also techno leaning, and there's some nice percussions in it that you and I seem to have in common. But yeah, I'm going to play this and we'll have a listen. So we were just talking. We are here in this lovely room in Jolene, but unfortunately the subs are not on. So there's a lot of the music that we're both playing that you can't really feel, and that's runs through most of the music I play. It's sub bass heavy. I want you to feel it. And this track is one of those where if you don't have good headphones in, I'm very sorry, or a good sound system at home, you're not going to be able to feel the impact. Otherwise, it's very subtle. And it is impactful if you heard it on a good
But
system.
you know that feeling when you buy a track and you're like, okay, this is gonna be a nice warm-up track, and then you put it on in the club, and then it just takes off, right? And you're just like, okay, that's not it.
Yeah, you start
at
hearing
all what I intended to do. I was kind of, I wanted to keep it going a little bit later before.
right, and you hear elements of the track you've probably never heard before.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, sure, it's peak time now, let's go.
Exactly, but just reacting to this again. There's a way of treating vocals in this track that's sounds very burial way, but then it has this low end and going away where I feel like I was really starting to groove to it in a way where I'm thinking, okay, this could work in the club as well. When first I heard it, I was like, okay, this is like what we were talking about. This is something you would start out with a set with.
Yes.
But you could Maybe there's another reset button. This as well.
It could be a reset button, but also why not? Because depending on the night and the concept of the night, there's many ways you can go with it, right?
Can you say again who we're listening to before I put on the next one?
Yeah, this one is by Kizzy. It's called V3.
Amazing. We were just talking about before the new, or somewhat new compilation from Tectonic. I just wanted to put a track on from there, just to keep us going. This is Beatrice M and Poison. So Beatrice M, she's from Paris and runs a label called Bait. Here she's made a track for the Tectonic compilation where there was given a pitch for all the artists on there. There's 24 tracks that's produced where they were all especially asked to have the Tectonic sound in mind.
Yes, you can hear it, and the Tectonic sound is very technoid-esque, or just perverting what the dubstep sound is, right? What the Bristol crew do very well. I really, really like this track. I love everything Beatrice M touches, or produces, or DJs. I think she's very skilled in, I don't know, in this new iteration of dubstep.
Yeah, and the great thing about Tectonic, the way that he goes up, outside the borders of UK and brings in all of these other artists. So it's not just like this separate little thing in Bristol.
For the heads.
So I see that you're bringing up another track from the compilation.
Yes, this is my favorite track from the compilation. Surprise, surprise. It's from the head honcho Pinch himself. The first track on the compilation called Tectonic Sounds. I think it's great, and what he's done is he's introduced the compilation saying, yo, this is Tectonic Sounds, and it's the reason why I fell in love with this label. So
let's switch to put it on.
yeah, so you get the point. This is the Tectonic Sound, the first track on the compilation. I think it sounds absolutely amazing. It's quite cinematic, actually, I would say.
Yeah.
And perhaps he's done an exaggerated version of what he wanted to present. But I played this a few times. I've never actually had the opportunity of playing it out. I've only played it in a few guest mix.
Yeah.
My favorite.
How do you think it would perform on the dance floor? It kind of needs like a special place. Like you can't just put it on, right? It's one of those things when I was saying I really want to play it, but I also bring it with the dread of just clearing everything out.
Absolutely. I've saved this track for. It would be a night where Trolls is on. You know, it's experimental. It's electro leaning. It's left. But I've definitely not had the courage to play this anyway.
So I was talking to you about before that when I see a release, then I pick a few tracks on it, and then I only buy those in order not to be overwhelmed by the amount of music that I then have at home and then I have to characterize and put in the genres and whatever. I'm like trying to be very organized, and the way to be organized is to be, not have too much things to organize. But this compilation, I just had to buy all of it, all 24 tracks. There's just not a bad track on it.
It's a good one.
Okay. So I'm gonna move it into a bit other territory. Pressing the right button here. I'm gonna go into some drum and bass. User Bay put on a new album in July 4th called Undertones. This is like really dark, apocalyptic drum and bass, and this really reminds me of old Doc Scott and Metalhead's drum and bass, but it's really new. The whole album was great. This one is called Root Out.
What an absolute track. This is so sick. This is so good.
And that's like a whole album of it, right? So
Yes.
it's just an EP.
But that's the thing, you mentioned it was off Samurai Music. I
Yeah.
believe they're based in Berlin.
Yeah, this album is out July 4th. I actually didn't know they were based in Berlin, but so the whole album, this is You Should Buy, is out of England, and has also released things on Liberty Sound that's like completely different, right? That's not drum and bass at all. But this whole album is just really industrial in the sound, but in a way where it's not too like it doesn't fill up too much. There's a lot of room in it still, and then it just really reminds me of when I got into drum and bass,
Right.
the way that drum and bass sounded that way, the way that it has this kind of like really techy beat for the most part, and then it breaks over into a break beat, and then goes back and forth like that.
I do miss that. I miss, I mean, now I don't want to sound like a boomer, but tracks that were longer than 5 minutes and they had 2 different drops that almost sounded like 2 different tracks in one track. But Samurai Music do really incredible halftime drum and bass. An artist or a duo that I can recommend would be The Untouchables. I have a tune here called Fowl's Game
Yeah,
that I want to play.
let's listen to it.
But yeah, you get the point. We were just talking about a mix, right?
Yeah.
And it's sounding very similar to what the Untouchables are doing here.
Yeah, so that's like 20-year-old music on commercial suicide that I actually recently, I was just like, it's not more than a few weeks ago, like, who was this guy I was listening to like 20 years ago, and it was so great. And then I had to like, I could just remember the beginning letter of the artist name, and then I had to go into my old folders and look through, and then I came up with it. And then you play this today, that's just like in the same vein with this like half-time drum and bass. It's amazing.
It's really fun, and I think whenever I've done a drum and bass set, I've tried to introduce this sound because it's less aggressive, and I think if you're not so accustomed to those very techie breaks and snares, it can be a little bit overwhelming. But this has a bounce, and it has influences to so many other different styles that I think people will appreciate.
Yeah, definitely.
And then you can be sneaky and bring in some other type of drum bass. But what do you have?
But I want to hear a little bit more of that one actually right now. So, going back to about 140 BPM. This is out on Deep Medi Music. A Canadian guy from Montreal area called Raz, and this track is called The Crypt.
I think this tune is very, very cool, very impactful. And to me, I think I said to you, it sounds like a very N.E.GIRL edit. The Bristol boy is quite grimy.
Yeah, but still it has this kind of like, I don't know, 80s computer game influence on top of it. That is, so makes you think this track just does something new that I haven't heard before, in a way that, and then it's so wonky because it's so shuffly that it's almost like I don't know, it's clowny in a way. So I gravitate to it because it has this 80s glitchy analog sound that brings on top of this grimy sound. And you were talking to me about how you didn't even know there was music coming out, Deep Medi Music anymore.
No,
there is.
Yeah. I think I just stopped because, listening to Deep Medi after so many years, I didn't want to get stuck into the bubble of only playing that kind of dubstep, but this is cool. All right. As this one fades out, I'm going to bring in one by Nick as well. This is a Jana Rush remix, incredible producer. So you're going to be hearing Duke, Footworky, Deep. Yeah, this tune here is great fun. It sounds so goofy without the sub bass. It really does. But this kind of music, juke, is designed for a dance floor with dancers. So there's a lot of elements in here. It's battle music.
But it sounds like people are having a lot of fun making this. It could be made in just like one take with it, just like having fun on the machines, and then that's it. Let's move on.
It is. This is serious like battle dance juke music, and Jana Rush makes a lot of different styles. Reminds me a lot of Jolene, if you know who that is.
No.
This very wobbly juke.
Do you play a lot of juke?
No, I play a lot more footwork.
Yeah.
I guess same family, but I like to. Okay, I'm lying. Let me tell the truth. I don't play a lot of footwork, but when I do, I would mix it in with jungle because they're around the same BPM, and they have the same type of energy and characteristics. And there's a little bit more sub bass on the footwork and juke that I like to complement the jungle with. And
also, it's having a complete just drum and bass set for a long time. For me, I'd like to switch it up and not having for a long time at a time.
What is this?
This is a track called O Travis, and I'm just gonna go from someone called HLRTY, and we gone back to Pineapple Records. Actually, this is an EP come out on May 2nd. And this is a guy from Italy, from Palermo. And I'm playing this because I used to, when I started DJing, I was playing breakbeats mostly. And I was playing a lot of breaks, and I was playing a lot of bad breakbeat music as well. I have like a basement full of bad breakbeat records. And the thing that I like about this is actually why I love breaks and why I still love to listen to it to a day, where you keep it really simple and keep it really fun.
Do you have a favorite breakbeat track?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I have to think about that for a little while.
Okay, you tell me after we listen to this.
So this is a break set that just does what it's supposed to do. It's like, it's funky, it's stripped back, it's fun, it has like a vocal snippets cut up, it keeps dance floor going. And then it doesn't do too much either. It's just like, it's just, you know, it's not a 4/4, it's a build, it's something that you build tension with on the floor, get it going later.
Really lovely track. I don't know what else to say about it. It was fine.
Yeah. But you can actually dislike music that I play.
No. It's not like I disliked it. It just wasn't doing much.
No.
It was a track that was.
But it's actually feeding into my fear of being a bad breakbeat DJ because it's like I think I kind of gravitate towards some of these tracks that other people just like, okay.
But yeah, I don't have much to say.
You don't have to say much more.
No.
You can just put on the next one.
I'm gonna put on the next one. This one is called Parkour Sunday, and it's a scuba edit or his alias.
It's techno, is it? Techno
SCB,
alias?
yes. And I'm gonna go into some techno and let's just change the music a little bit. So this one, Parkour Sunday of Hot Flush Records, Scuba's label, or his techno alias, who you're quite familiar with, right?
Yeah, definitely.
This one is the edit he did. It's by a duo called, give me 1 second here, Braille and Pleasure with an X.
Yeah, so he released the whole album with Braille on his album or on his label, and this must be a release, a remix of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
This one in particular I really like. I mean, I play techno. I play a lot of deep techno. I play driving techno. I now play hard techno apparently. But I like this. Feels very warehouse, big room.
And it also has a lot of air in it that I like. You know, that gives it room to breathe still. I think Hot Flush Records recordings is having quite a moment at the moment. Both new releases from Body and Autocation that I really love, and of course he's in this place in between bass music and techno. And I'm listening to his podcast. I can hear that he always found it hard to be in both places at the same time and find the respect that he's obviously gotten in the end. And this track I think is just a really great example of why he's also a great techno producer. get into this. This is Josie Devil. Real name is Joe Deemer. He's based in UK. He had a release out on Hazel Audio recently that was really great. And what he does is he kind of moves into that speed garagey terrain, but he's doing it in an original way. So it's like, you know, you can all do all your templates out there with doing your speed garage that sounds like every other track. Or you could do it like this, where he's having like this really heavy. So I found this from what you were playing because that's kind of like the bass drum, the kick is the same way. So it's like techno garage.
This is good. This will work really well in a big field festival setting. You know, it reminds me very much of Quartet, Chloe Robson, who used to be Barely Legal. This, I don't know. It's a mix. Tech house, garage, quite
All kinds of
bouncy.
things.
Yeah, I like this a lot. This is really good. So this actually reminds me of a song from Sam Bigger. You probably know it. I'm just gonna do some DJ magic here and mix it in. So this one's Sam Binger and Sister Zoo. It's called Ooh Sorbet. So, what do you think of this track?
I love it. Especially love that the vocal loop in the background that just goes on and on and on. It brings that kind of like, yeah. It's kind of like that community we all here together dancing. And then the kick drum that's going on with like this really long release on the bass in there that is kind of like building the whole bass line in it. It's also just something that just gets me every time.
So this track reminded me a lot of the previous one you played, and you actually referenced, I mean, we've referenced Sam Binger a few times now, but it seems like there's a style or a sound that you and I both quite enjoy.
But I think Pineapple Records completely is digging into that whole global bass phenomenon.
Phenomenon one.
that that you were referencing earlier. Now I can't speak anymore. And this is a perfect example of it, and one of the reasons why I'm really excited about dance music at the moment, because it's like everything is just coming together in this way.
What do you have lined up on your deck?
I'm gonna do this. You do it.
Nice.
So this is a track called Dystope by Nida, and this is the Delay Grounds remix. Nida is French from Bordeaux, and the remix is Delay Grounds, which is from Bristol. This is the kind of music that I'm really looking for at the moment. This is kind of weird tech house. I played a lot of Ploy tracks in the previous shows. He made a whole album on Dick Mantle that had this kind of like, it sounded like early zeros tech house, but then with like a bass house influence on the bottom of it. And I really wish there was more music made like this. It's like really full on going on, but it sounds dated, but it also sounds really new in the same way.
It does sound really new, and it's also the conversation about tech house being back, and it's quite polarizing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you or do you not like tech house? This sounds great. It works on a dance floor. I personally don't like it because it feels, I don't know, it's driving, but not in a way that's as impactful as I like.
No.
I like the complements between heavy sub with the drive. This just feels, there's a lot on the tops happening.
Yeah, so it's too full for you. You need a little bit more air in the production.
I think so for this. Yeah. I think tempo maybe, but I think that's my critique with tech house generally.
But that is interesting because you know it's like it's such a I don't know, swear word tech house, right? Do you like it or don't you?
Yeah, I do like tech house. I like hard groove. I like I like all whatever
Yeah.
iteration of tech house is out. I enjoy tech house, but there's a particular
Yeah, and it's really
style that I prefer.
But I find it really difficult to explain when it is I like a tech house track and when I don't. And you had something where you were just gravitating.
I
towards
guarantee what I really like is probably bass house, if I'm completely
yeah.
honest, and I'm just calling it tech house.
Yeah.
Or just straight techno that maybe has some tech house. I think I'm going to be a bit cheeky and just change the tempo. We've got 15 minutes left.
Yeah, that's
I
good.
really want to introduce some of the music that I'm, very comfortable playing and I guess known for, a reputation I built, and that is jungle drum and bass. So this one here is called 4-4, and it's by Response and Surplus, and it's off the Blunted Breaks Volume 3 EP. Yeah, so this one here is off Western Law. I think it's Denim Audio's label,
Yeah?
UK-based label. It's really good compilation with some very sick producers who make modern jungle drum and bass, such as this. I generally play a lot of Response and Pillskin in particular have a good EP that is actually jungle techno leaning, and it works. And crowds that don't know they like jungle, if they hear a 4-4, it works.
Yeah. So it's a 4-4 on top of the aim and break here, and that's always a winner. I actually didn't know that Denim Audio was releasing jungle records as well.
Yeah.
I thought it was more leaning into the breaks.
No, he is doing it very, very well. But just because of time, I'm going to break this down. I want to hear what you've got.
Yeah, definitely. So this is new out on Metalheads. TRAX 174, Lost in Space, this track is called. And I chose it because it has all of these, exactly what's going on right now in the track, these really long intermissions with these kind of synth lines.
Yep.
That really reminds me of getting into drum and bass.
Yes, definitely old school references. I love that one. Metalheads, of course. Goldie's label, always releasing some really cool producers. But just to change it up, I'm going to play a little bit more hardcore jungle techno. What I really enjoy playing these days, it works so well. I just love the rave.
I love the term jungle techno.
Yeah, jungle techno. Last one from me.
Thank you for coming, Esther. It's really a pleasure having you and listening to your music choices and having you endure mine.
Thank you. I had so much fun with this assignment. Like I was saying, looking for music can be so difficult just because there's so many new music coming out constantly and trying to refine your sound and what you like, la 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 la. But this assignment helped me really decide what I wanted to share with you.
Yeah, and I really want to go out and find some jungle techno now.
I'll send you some, but this last one I'm
amazing.
going to end on is by an incredible DJ producer called Jay Carter, based in the UK.
And let me just, by also say thank you to you, and then just say to people that Brave Tracks is back next time on the 18th of October with Smokey. So a lot of more bass music and dub music, I think, from her.
Yeah.
And thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having me. This one I'm going to sign off with. It's by Jay Carter. What is it called again? At 9. Self-release.